I do have a question that I ask everybody. It's not a technical question. I ask all our presenters. It's a career question, a growth question. Uh, but most of our presenters are seasoned technologists and have been through a lot of seasons of life and seasons of technology. Uh, if you could jump back in time to talk to a younger Otsan or talk to a young person now. Sometimes we get some college kids or people straight out of college that join our sessions. Any kind of career advice that you like to give people, uh, whether they're going to go into technology or not, it doesn't necessarily matter. If it's technology focused, that's fine as well. But any advice that you'd give to some young people or even old people looking
Yeah,
for
yeah.
looking for a boost?
Look, I think I'm a firm believer that we're all really great at something. Like we all have very high potential to be incredibly high performers at something. And especially like if you're thinking about more of an entrepreneurial path, and let's say you were saying, hey, I want to go raise some money from some venture capitalists, and I'm going to go build my startup, and I'm going to go raise more money and go IPO, and then go be the next NVIDIA. Uh, it's really important if you're going to go on that journey, for instance, to really look at your career and look at your experience and say, here is what I'm the best in the world at. And again, it can be something hyper specific, right? It could be like, hey, because of my background, because of my upbringing, because of my culture, because of, like whatever reason why you might have some unique set of circumstances and experiences and knowledge and these career projects you've worked on and everything put together. That's your story, right? That is you. And that gives you a unique combination to be the best in the world at something. And so, especially if you're looking for from a career standpoint to look at, hey, there's a reason, for instance, that I might be the best developer to go work with AI and observability and meshing those two things together. You have to be really, I think, thoughtful and transparent with yourself and self-aware to understand that what you're the best at, and then go and do that. I don't know that I necessarily believe like, oh, do the thing that you love and you'll never work a day in your life. I don't know about that, but I do think that people want to feel like they're really good at what they do. And I do believe that every single person can be really good at something. So that would be my advice is go find the thing that you feel like you're really good at. I'll give an example of myself. I started my career as a software developer at Microsoft. And I think, for Microsoft standards, I was, maybe average developer. Like I was good. I got my stuff done. I got it done on time. I impressed some people, but I was never great. Like I was never an all-star developer. Like my co-founder and CTO, Fatih, he was that guy. I mean, he was incredible. And whenever I had some very, very complex thing I was trying to build, I would go walk over to his office, even though he wasn't even on my team. I would go walk over to his office because he was a friend of mine. And I would say, hey, I need you to help me with this thing, right? When I started getting more into customer-facing solution architecture and being able to marry the technical concepts with also understanding the business needs of the clients, I really started to elevate myself. And I was able to actually say, wow, like I don't think I ever could have been a superstar software developer, but I actually felt much more like a superstar, almost technical liaison and trusted advisor to a lot of these organizations. The other thing I got was at Microsoft, for instance, I remember back in like 2010, I worked on getting GPUs into data centers in Azure. And this was 15 years ago. I mean, this was literally, I think it was almost the same year that Bitcoin was invented. I think Bitcoin was invented in 2009. So nobody had any need for GPUs in data centers. I mean, there was no reason. It was just like Azure saying, hey, AWS is ahead of us. And how do we go compete with AWS? Oh, let's go put GPUs in data centers. And I think we had one customer. It was like an internal Xbox team that needed to render some video for some galactic warfare starship game, right? And when I moved on to the next project, I realized that I knew more about GPUs and data centers at scale than probably anyone except for 2 or 3 humans on Earth. And yet there was a 99% chance that knowledge just wasn't going to translate to my next job, right? Like it just, no matter what, my next job has nothing to do with GPUs and has nothing to do with making them work at scale in data centers. And so when I joined Sumo Logic shortly, I went to a few other roles at Microsoft, but I joined Sumo Logic afterwards. And when I was a solution architect, I never, of course, went that deep with any customer, but I started working with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different companies of all various shapes and sizes, and some giant Fortune 100 enterprises, some small startups, and you start to see context. You start to see like, oh, this team's doing this thing really well. Oh, this team is kind of, for whatever reason, it could be a valid business reason why there's something broken, it feels like, in their process. Sometimes you feel like you're a little bit of a therapist. Sometimes it feels like you're a little bit of a scientist. Sometimes it feels like something in between. But that was, I think, a breath of fresh air for me to say, hey, at Microsoft for 6 years, I went very, very deep in these projects. And then all of a sudden I went more customer facing, and you just have to find that thing that you're really good at.